When you think of deadly creatures, your mind probably jumps to sharks, lions, or venomous snakes. And yes, these predators do claim lives every year. But here's what most people don't know. There's a creature responsible for more human deaths than almost any other animal on the planet. And if you encountered it in nature, you'd probably walk right past it without a second thought. In fact, you might even think it's kind of cute. This unassuming killer lurks in rivers, lakes, and ponds across the world. It moves slower than almost anything alive. It has no teeth, no venom, no claws. Yet somehow, this tiny creature is linked to over 200,000 deaths every single year. Today, we're talking about the freshwater snail. I know what you're thinking. A snail? Really? These little shell creatures that inch along rocks and aquatic plants? How could something so small and seemingly harmless be responsible for such devastation? Well, here's the thing. Freshwater snails are everywhere. Over 5,000 different species have been identified across every continent except Antarctica. They live in streams, rivers, lakes, marshes, and even rice paddies. Some are tiny enough to fit on your fingernail, while others, like the apple snail, can grow to the size of your fist. These creatures have been incredibly successful for millions of years. Their iconic spiral shells, created by secreting calcium carbonate, provide protection from predators and harsh conditions. When environments become unfriendly, they can seal themselves inside and hibernate until conditions improve. Freshwater snails are also reproduction machines. Some species can start breeding just 7 weeks after birth, laying up to 100 eggs at a time. This explosive reproductive rate allows them to colonize new habitats rapidly. They're not picky eaters either. Freshwater snails consume algae, decaying plant matter, dead fish, and basically any organic debris they encounter. This flexible diet makes them nature's cleanup crew, playing an important ecological role in aquatic ecosystems. In fact, many aquarium enthusiasts actually keep freshwater snails on purpose to help maintain water quality. They're generally peaceful, easy to care for, and helpful to have around. So with all these seemingly beneficial traits, what makes them so dangerous? Freshwater snails themselves aren't the killers. The danger isn't what they have. It's what lives inside them. Meet the blood fluke, scientifically known as schistosoma. This microscopic parasite has turned innocent snails into unwitting accomplices in one of humanity's deadliest health crises. Blood flukes belong to a class of flatworms with over 6,000 species. Most are completely harmless to humans. But roughly a dozen species can infect people, and one particular type, schistosoma, has earned a terrifying reputation. Here's how this nightmare cycle works. It starts when an infected person's waste enters freshwater. The parasite eggs contaminate the water, where they either penetrate a snail's skin or get swallowed by the snail while it's feeding. Inside the snail, these parasites mature and multiply, turning a single infection into thousands of new parasites. Eventually, the snail releases these parasites back into the water. Now here's where it gets dangerous for humans. When people swim, wade, or fish in these contaminated waters, the parasites can penetrate directly through human skin in a matter of minutes. You don't need to swallow the water. You don't need an open wound. Just contact with infected water is enough. Some people also get infected by eating raw or undercooked fish from contaminated waters, as the parasites can survive in fish tissue. Once inside a human host, the cycle continues. The infected person eventually sheds parasite eggs through their waste, which may re-enter freshwater sources, infecting more snails and perpetuating this deadly loop. Stage 1. Initial infection. About 12 hours after exposure, some people develop an itchy rash where the parasites entered their skin. Many don't even notice the symptom, and some lucky individuals experience no symptoms at all in the early stages. This mild beginning masks the danger brewing inside their bodies. This rash can persist for up to 2 months. Stage 2. Acute snail fever. Then comes the acute phase of what's known as snail fever or schistosomiasis. Weeks after infection, people develop fever, persistent coughing, severe muscle aches, debilitating headaches, and chronic diarrhea. The body is now fighting a full-scale invasion. This stage can be deadly. Rare but fatal complications include myocarditis, inflammation of the heart muscle, and pericarditis, inflammation of the sac around the heart. Neurological effects have also been documented, with some patients experiencing seizures or paralysis. Even those who survive the acute phase often don't fully recover. Research shows many victims suffer persistent weight loss, ongoing abdominal pain, continuous diarrhea, and recurring rashes for years afterward. Stage 3. Chronic infection. But the worst is yet to come. Without proper treatment, or if treatment fails, the infection becomes chronic. This is where blood flukes truly earn their deadly reputation. Over multiple years, the parasite eggs and worms migrate throughout the body, settling in various organs. Depending on where they establish themselves, the symptoms vary dramatically. The most commonly affected areas are the intestines, liver, lungs, central nervous system, and urogenital organs. The deadliest complication is kidney failure resulting from organ fibrosis. Basically, scar tissue buildup that destroys kidney function. This alone kills up to 150,000 people every single year. Other major killers include pulmonary hypertension, severe liver disease, appendicitis, and life-threatening anemia. Combined, these complications account for the other 50,000 annual deaths attributed to this parasite. Many health organizations believe 200,000 deaths per year is a significant underestimate. Long-term snail fever infections have been linked to bladder cancer and other conditions. But these deaths often aren't counted in official statistics because the connection isn't always recognized. Despite being the second most common parasitic infection worldwide, right behind malaria, schistosomiasis is classified as a neglected tropical disease. It simply doesn't get the attention, funding, or public awareness it deserves. The regions most affected are parts of Africa, Asia, and South America, where freshwater snails thrive and access to clean water is limited. Children playing in rivers, farmers working in rice paddies, and families collecting water for daily use are all at risk. There is some good news. Current treatment involves antiparasitic medications. Though they're not perfect, they struggle to kill parasite eggs and juvenile flukes, which means reinfection remains a constant threat. More promising are prevention efforts. Programs targeting freshwater snail populations through controlled chemical treatments and environmental management have successfully reduced infection rates in several regions. Increased public awareness campaigns have also made a difference, educating at-risk communities about the dangers of contaminated water and promoting safer practices. If you live in or travel to high-risk areas in tropical and subtropical regions, be extremely cautious around freshwater sources. That peaceful river or inviting pond might harbor an invisible threat. Sometimes, the deadliest creatures are the ones you'd never suspect. And sometimes, staying safe is as simple as staying out of the water